Alright, I did record another version of this, but at the time I was extremely pissed off. I still am, but I've calmed down enough. The last version, I forgot, since I was really pissed, just kept repeating things, and I missed some of the key points I wanted to make. So, I'm gonna restart. So, let's begin. I was originally going to make an Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Together video earlier, but I never got around to it, so I'm gonna combine it with this a little bit. Alright, the main point of this video is war with Iran. As you might know by now, there was an alleged Iranian plot to bomb the Saudi and Israeli embassies and to assassinate the Saudi ambassador to the United States, because Saudi Arabia and Iran have been competing in the Persian Gulf Middle Eastern region for a while now. The Saudis are in the American sphere of influence. Iran is not really in a sphere of influence, but they're more or less with the kind of in the Chinese and Russian kind of alignment, but they're still not as much influence as Saudi is an American influence. I know that probably didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. This sounds really familiar. Let's look back at 2001, where there was where the Twin Towers bombings, the Pentagon, the Shanksville. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any victims of the 9/11s or attacks or anything, but the circumstances are very similar, and the chance that this is just another plot made up by our masters of our government to go to war in order to plant some oil wells into some oil-rich countries in the Middle East. I'm not utterly convinced that it was an inside job the first time, but you know, I'm very suspicious. And right now, this is even more suspicious, because at the moment, we have massive buildups on either side of Iran's borders in two wars that are pretty much over, and we're still having troops flowing in there unnecessarily. So it looks like we were already preparing for this from the start, and now that we got the circumstance, whether or not this was an Iranian plot, or it is just a false accusation of a plot planned by rogue terrorists, it's still, this is the chance that the corporations and the conservatives have been looking forward to. As soon as it happens, like, time to go to war with Iran, guys! These people have no idea how much a life is worth. They don't realize these soldiers, they have goals, they have dreams, they have families, they have friends. But these corporate masters and these conservatives just see them as little ant playthings that they can just throw at an enemy so that they can make a little bit more money. No war with Iran, okay? We need to be the bigger man and use diplomacy. We can't show the Iranians that we're weak and just throw our troops at them. Sure, it might seem aggressive, but it's childish. Especially in this day and age where imperialism is unacceptable. But it still exists. Especially within the United States. I know many of Americans still believe that America stands for democracy, anti-imperialism, freedom. That's not true, I'm sorry. The government right now, it's controlled very much by the corporations, the top 1%. They use two capitalist parties as their puppets to make it look like there's democracy, but it's all a sham. All they want is to use this to get money and to get American people to support them. Wherein, if the American people really just looked into what's going on, they would realize these people are not in their best interests. They want money for themselves. They do not want to help America at all. Yet but Americans are just brainwashed from the start to think that capitalism is so good. Yeah, production for profit for the rich and get screwed by the rich. Yeah, sounds great. So, we're gonna go to war with Iran, okay? 3 wars at once. While we already are facing the chances of a revolution at home, they'll be even more increased by this. And if you think about it, we go to our... Alright, let's look here. We already have soured relations between two NATO-affiliated countries in the Middle East, Israel and Turkey. They're already pretty close to war. Israel won't get out of Palestine. Let's see here. If we go to war with Iran, this is not going to have a good reaction at home by most people. But I know there's going to be those fundamentalists who's like, yeah, let's go to war with Iran, those fucking Muslims. Let's kill those towelheads. Even though, really, they're trying to create the same thing that's in Iran, except instead of being Muslim, it's going to be Christian. It's nowhere near as good. And it's going to be even more dangerous because America's a superpower. But anyways, let's look at the chain events here. Possible war with Turkey and Israel, that'll split NATO up. Who's Iran's allies? Oh, let's see here. You have Russia. Vladimir Putin seems like he's going to become the next president of Russia soon. Take his seat back. He has very aggressive goals. He wants to make Russia a superpower again. He has imperialistic ambitions. He's already planning to bring all the former republics of the USSR back into Russian influence. He's got the Eurasian Union planned with Kazakhstan and Belarus. Who's Russia's allies? Alright, we have Iran. We have North Korea. If this happens, we're gonna have all our troops in Iran. It's gonna be a perfect opportunity for North Korea to storm their troops into South Korea, which South Korea's government is not much better in my opinion. China is also pretty much an ally of Russia, not as much as they used to be, but they're still affiliated a lot. Neither of them like America. Chain events could lead to World War III. A bit far-fetched, I know, but, you know, these world wars can happen at any time. That's how the last two happened. They happen at any time. The only reason World War I happened was because one guy was in the wrong place at the wrong time and he died. World War. World War II happened just because of that. World War III is going to happen just because some terrorist, who probably wasn't even sponsored by Iran, decided to blow up two embassies of countries he doesn't like, and the stupid dumbasses in government decided to blame Iran, thinking this is going to be something quick and that we can hurry up and just put our oil wells there, get our influence there, make it a puppet state like we have in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's not going to be like that. Iran is actually a powerful country. People are going to step up for them. Iran's going to be a challenge to take over. They have a nuclear program going on, and that's not going to go very well, and it's a very aggressive nation. Like, I understand why they might use these terrorist attacks, but I still don't buy it. I just think this is another plot by our masters. And these people, they didn't even try to use diplomacy with Iran. Just a few days after this happened, they're already saying we should go to war. They're not even talking about diplomacy. I mean, it's so goddamn transparent, but so many people do not see it. Am I the only one alone? I'm sure I'm not, but it sure as hell feels like it. We really need a change in America. We need to give America a good image and make it a good country and get rid of all these negative influences coming from the rich and the conservatives and just kick them the fuck out of government. Sounds like a communist idea. Maybe. I'm not a communist. I'm a socialist. But still, I would not object if they just kicked all the conservatives out. I would not. Good riddance. They're ruining our country. They're ruining the world. They're gonna destroy the world. They already have full intentions of doing so. That's my video. I'm pissed off. I still might not have gotten all my points across, but I've gotten enough across. Just look into it by yourself. You'll see it all by yourself. Goodbye. Please leave a comment.